everyone. Today we are going to take a new session in financial management, that is capital structure theories. It's very important. You should know what is capital structure. We should know what is meant by optimum capital structure and what are the different capital structure theories included in it. So I will explain what is, in a simple terms I am going to explain what is meant by capital structure. So capital structure may be defined as the combination of a firm's financing consisting of debt and equity. Or we can say it is the combination of debt and equity of a firm's capital structure. Combination of debt and equity in a firm's capital structure. So another meaning we can say, that is capital structure of a company refers to the company's position or makeup of its capitalization, and it includes all long-term capital resources, that is loans, reserves, shares and bonds. That is loans and bonds. These are coming under debt and shares are coming under equity. So in simple terms, it is the only meaning. That is, it is the combination of debt and equity in the combination in a capital structure. So that is what is meant by capital structure. So there is another term concerned with capital structure, that is optimum capital structure. What is meant by optimum capital structure? Optimum capital structure is that capital structure or combination of debt and equity that leads to the maximum value of the firm. At the optimum level, the company will get maximum value, and at the same time, the cost of capital will be the minimum. So, in an optimum capital structure, always the cost of capital will be the minimum and the value of the firm will be the maximum. It is the highest position of a firm. That is optimum capital structure if a firm is having. So, all companies will have the same opinion of getting optimum capital structure. So, before starting with capital structure theories, we have seen what is meant by capital structure and what is meant by optimum capital structure. Capital structure means it is the combination of debt and equity in a firm. And optimum capital structure means that capital structure which leads to the combination of debt and equity in such a way that the company gets the maximum value, or the value of the firm will be the maximum and the expenses will be the minimum. So this is the definition given to optimum capital structure. Now we can see capital structure theories. What are the different capital structure theories? While looking into different capital structure theories, there are 4 capital structure theories, that is net income approach, net operating income approach, traditional approach, and Modi, Gilani and Miller approach. So we can see what is meant by net income approach. This net income approach, it is always also known as relevance theory or fixed KE theory. What is meant by relevance theory? Relevance theory means according to Mr. Durand has propounded this theory, and according to him, there is relevance of capital structure on the value of the firm. That is, if there is any change in the value of the capital structure, it has direct impact on what? The value of the firm and cost of capital. If there is any change in the capital structure of a firm, it has direct impact on the cost of capital and total value of the firm. That is what is suggested by this particular theory. So this particular theory propounded by Mr. Durand has certain assumptions. The first assumption is that there is no tax at all. There is no tax prevailing in such a time. The next one is the cost of KD and KE are always remaining constant. What is meant by KD? Cost of debt. What is meant by KE? Cost of equity. So KD and KE are always remaining constant. Constant means there won't be any change. Even if there is any change in the capital structure, it will remain constant. Then another assumption is that all the companies under this theory will be having optimum capital structure. They will have optimum capital structure. Okay, now we are moving to the computation of capital structure. This particular net income approach, how we can compute the value of the firm and cost of capital. Here it is given, you can go through the video given. That is value of the firm equal to V equal to E plus D. E equal to value of equity, D equal to value of debt. Here value of equity equal to E equal to NI divided by KE. So what is meant by this NI and what is by this KE? KE means cost of equity or equity capitalization rate. It will be given in the problem itself. What is NI? From EBIT, if we are deducting the interest given to the outsiders or interest payable on debt, we will get EBT. This EBT itself is known as NI in this capital structure theory. So first we have to find out the NI, that is from EBIT we are deducting interest, we are getting EBT. Then we are finding out V. V means E plus D. E means we got it now. E means NI divided by KE into 100. That is E. NI we got and KE will be given. And NI divided by KE into 100, then we will get E. Then the combination of E plus D, it is known as V. V means total value of the firm. Then what will be the overall cost of capital? KO equal to EBIT divided by V. EBIT means earnings before interest and tax. It will be given in the beginning itself. And V now we found out. That is E plus D, that is V. That is the overall cost of capital. So it can be presented in the form of a statement and the format of the statement is given below. That is, first we are starting with EBIT. From EBIT we have deducted interest. We got NI. That is EBT. From the cost of equity will be given in the problem. That is equity capitalization rate. From this we can find out the market value of equity. That is capital E. This market value of equity will be NI divided by KE. NI we got and KE we know. So NI divided by KE into 100, we will get E, capital E, value of equity. Then we have to find out V. V means E plus D. E means we got it now. D means total debt we have taken. So E plus D, we will get the value of the firm V. Then overall cost of capital means KO equal to EBIT divided by V. We will get overall cost of capital. Now we can look into the examples given here. You can see through the videos. That is first problem. X Limited is expecting an annual EBIT of 1 lakh rupee. The company has 4 lakh rupee in 10% debentures. That is their debt. The cost of equity capitalization rate is 12.5%. That is KE. You are required to calculate the total value of the firm and also state the overall cost of capital. Okay, we can start with EBIT. So EBIT is 1 lakh. From that we have deducted the interest. What will be the interest? Our debt is 4 lakh and 10% is the interest. So it is coming 40,000. So 1 lakh minus 40,000, it is coming 60,000. So that is our NI, or we can say it is our EBIT. But as in this problem or in this approach, we are, instead of using EBIT, EBT, we are using the term NI. So we got NI. And the capitalization rate is 12.5%. From this we can find out E. So E equal to NI divided by KE into 100. NI is 60,000 divided by 12.5 into 100. It is coming 4,80,000. That is E. Now we can find out V. V means E plus D. That is value of the firm equal to E plus D. E means what is that? Earnings. And V means what? D means what? Debt. So E plus D, we will get the value of the firm V. Then what is KO? KO equal to, it is given EBIT divided by V. That is 1 lakh divided by 8,80,000 into 100. How we got V? Our E is coming 4,80,000 and our debt is 4 lakh. So 4,80,000 plus 4 lakh, we are getting 8,80,000. Now the KO is coming 11.36%. So this is only an example. So in order to compare whether the company's capital structure change has an impact on the overall cost of capital or value of the firm, we have to compare it with another problem where the capital structure is increasing. So before that, we can conclude one point, that is increase in value. That is, the value of a firm according to NI approach will get increased in case the amount of debt is increased by issue of debentures and reduced by equity. That is, our debt is increasing. That means the value of the firm will be increasing. If the debt is decreasing, the value of the firm will be decreasing. Okay, this is what is found out by this NI approach. And for comparison purpose, we are taking another problem, that is earnings before interest and tax. It is given 1 lakh. Interest at 10% debentures of 5 lakh. Why it is here taken as 5 lakh? Because in this problem, 4 lakh was their debt, but they additionally issued 1 lakh rupees debentures. So your total debt has become 5 lakh. And on that 5 lakh, 10% interest we have to calculate. That is 50,000. So 1 lakh divided by 50,000, it is coming. NI is coming 50,000. And the equity capitalization rate is 12.5%. You can find out E from this. That is NI, how we can find out 50,000 divided by 12.5 into 100. That is NI divided by K into 100. You got the value of equity, that is 4 lakh. Then what is the value of the firm? E plus D. E we got 4 lakh and your debt here is not 4 lakh. It has become 5 lakh. That is 4 lakh plus 1 lakh addition. That is 5 lakh. It is coming 9 lakh. Okay, D is 9 lakh. Sorry, total value of the firm is 9 lakh. Now, KO equal to EBIT divided by V. That is EBIT is 1 lakh divided by your V is 9 lakh into 100. That is coming 11.1%. Okay, now for the comparison purpose, we can see in the first problem, the debt was only 4 lakh. In the second problem, the debt has been increased from 4 lakh with an additional issue of 1 lakh, that it has become 5 lakh. So the debt has been increased. Then now can see what is happening to the value of the firm. In the first case, the V is 4 lakh 80,000 plus 4 lakh 8 lakh 80,000. In the second case, the V is 4 lakh plus 5 lakh. It is becoming 9 lakh. So, by increasing the debt, what is happening? The value of the firm is increasing. That is concluded. Then, find out the total cost of capital. In the first case, it is 11.36%. In the second case, it is 11.1%. What has happened? According to the change in the value of debt or according to the change in the capital structure of the firm, there is change in the cost of capital. The cost of capital has been reduced if the debt increases. So the conclusion is made, that is when in the capital structure, the debt capital is increasing, your value of the firm will increase and at the same time your cost of capital will reduce. On the other hand, we can say if in your capital structure, if the debt is reducing by issuing equity shares, the total value of debt, total value of the firm will decrease, but the cost of capital will increase. So we can conclude that according to this NI approach, whatever we are saying that we can see from this comparison. So according to NI approach, by increasing the value of debt and by reducing the value of equity, the value of the firm is increasing and at the same time what is happening? The cost of capital, value of the firm is increasing and the cost of capital is reduced. Okay, that is what is meant by this NI approach. Hope you have understood this. We have gone through the definition of capital structure. We have gone through optimum capital structure and different theories. And in this theory, the first one is net income approach. Okay, so thank you very much. Hope all of you have understood.